Lylat Wars on the N64, not to be confused with Starwing on the Super Nintendo. I mean, I don't know why you would, since they're both different consoles. Cartridges, oh yeah, and games? I guess the confusion is because in the US this was StarFox 64 and this was StarFox. Anyway, we had good old Lylat Wars here in Europe. What's with changing the names of games anyway? That'd be like calling GoldenEye Well-Dressed Man Does a Rooty Tooty Point and Shooty. But seriously, keep the names of the games the same. Lylat Wars is an epic rail shooter and really is a must play on the N64. Enough talking, let's get round to playing some StarFox. I mean, Lylat Wars, whatever. Oh yeah, this uses the Rumble Pack. Actually, it was made for the Rumble Pack. So, this is your motley crew. You have Slippy Toad, who's inept and will constantly be asking for help. Peppy Hare, who will actually give you some pretty good in-game advice. Falco Lombardi, the sarcastic smartass. And then there's you, Fox McCloud, the alpha dog, the sort of dude who goes to a bar and orders suicide shots just for a laugh. This is the Lylat system, and just like the previous game, it's once again your job to defend it from Andros. You don't follow a predetermined path through the system. Depending on what you do on each planet will determine the path you take to progress to the final planet, which gives the game some replay value.
It's about time you showed up, Fox. You're the only hope for our world.
I'll do my best. Andros won't have his way with me.
Did I just hear that right?
Andros won't have his way with me.
I did! Well, that's one way to put up a fight. Because the game's a rail shooter, all you've got to do is avoid enemies and keep on shooting at them as they come towards you. To shoot, all you have to do is mash away at the A button. This does become slightly tiring on your thumb. You can hold down the A button, but this won't continually fire. Instead, you lock onto targets and fire a more powerful charged shot. This does come in handy, but I would have liked to have been able to hold down the A button and constantly fire. Also, it would have been nice that instead of using the A button to fire, it would have used the trigger underneath, the Z button. This just seems more natural on the N64 controller since most shooting games use this button to fire. The in-game music is actually really good. Each level has its own soundtrack, and as you progress through the game, the tempo of the music changes as the levels get more difficult. This is also true when you get to the boss battle at the end of each level. The music builds to a faster paced, more frantic version of its previous self. I think they took the term rail shooter quite literally here. On this level you shoot what looks like a train on rails. This is one level you don't really fly on. Instead, you're in what appears to be a tank rather than your usual R-wing. You can hover to avoid obstacles, but it's only briefly and you do come crashing back down without any finesse. Because of the nature of the game, you follow a predetermined path through each level. You fly about in the confines of the screen, doing barrel rolls and somersaults while shooting at enemies. I don't really mind this, since at times you're getting constantly shot at, so it does give you a chance to shoot your enemies or pick up power-ups as you fly along. Only once throughout the game did I get the chance to choose which path to take, but this was only a left or right option, and it didn't occur again in my playthrough. If you like to explore the environment you're in, this kind of game probably isn't for you. A gripe I do have with the game is the position of the camera in reference to your ship on the screen. For the most part, this isn't an issue, but it can be hard to judge where obstacles are in reference to your ship. This is most obvious when you have to fly through tight areas or have to avoid obstacles. Because of this, you will sometimes take damage when you don't really mean to. I mean, you don't really mean to take damage, but it does sort of happen at times. I did try the cockpit view to see if this was any better, but if anything, it was actually worse, due to not being able to judge where the extremities of your ship are. So I found myself flying into stuff a lot more. This is not the end of the world, but it can be frustrating. My other issue with the game is if you do happen to shoot your teammates, there isn't any friendly fire option, so you can't get away with shooting them by mistake. Your teammates will certainly let you know when you've shot them by giving you some sort of free bollocking, which will visually and audibly be known to you. Like many games, there are checkpoints in each level. All you do is fly through the checkpoint, and if you die, you start back at this point. You will, however, have lost any power-ups you will have gained up until this point, but that's often preferable to starting back at the beginning of each level and having to work through the level again. This can be annoying in the last half of a level when power-ups really do help with the level boss. At the end of each level, you'll have a boss battle. Each boss gets harder as you progress further and further through the game. This is pretty natural for any sort of game like this. The bosses early on in the game have yellow hitboxes, so it's obvious what you have to shoot to defeat them. Some of the later ones don't really have this, which does make it more challenging to defeat them, due to not really being sure of what you have to shoot, but this adds to the progressing challenge of the game. I did notice that some bosses have a life meter at one side of the screen, and some just don't, like the final boss here. The final boss is a button-mashing saga of constant shooting and flying about avoiding attacks. I actually came close to dying during this final battle, but due to hammering the fuck out of the A button, and, well, let's face it, a little bit of luck, I actually defeated Andros fairly quickly, and therefore the game. And that's it. You've defeated the final boss. I've got to say, it's a really good game with a lot of replay value, since you can take a different path to get to other planets, or if you just want a really fun rail shooter that's set in space, I'd recommend this. It's actually in one of my top 10 N64 games. So all that's left to say is once you've completed the game, you're left with two things. A sense of achievement and a pretty sore thumb, and quite possibly mild repetitive strain injury.